Hey guys,
welcome back to our channel,
Plots with a Twist.
where we discuss books.
Amongst other things. And kind of on theme, but not on theme with Spooky Month. We decided to discuss some books we're like afraid to read. We're scared to read for whatever reason. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about them and talk about why they are daunting to us. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay. We got 3 books each, so you want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah, you go first.
So I have this book saved on my Scribed, and I probably have, like, I didn't really give a lot of thought about it. I should have like deep dived my thought process, but I looked on my Scribed and I looked on like books. I was like, oh, I might want to read this. And so I came up with The Women Could Fly by Megan Giddings. You probably
I've never heard of that.
Well, that's probably why I'm afraid to read it. Because so I read Megan Giddings, she wrote Lakewood. That was her debut novel, right? And it was circulating around the time because it was kind of playing on this like experimentation on like kind of like the Tuskegee experiment, like experimentation on Black and brown people and kind of how that plays out in the world, and it was kind of like a metaphor on that piece, but I didn't enjoy it. Like I got what it was trying to do, but it just, the plot itself and the progression of the story, it just wasn't giving the way people like hyped it up. And it was.
So you read it?
I read her first book, Lakewood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I read that, and yeah, it had like hype and attention, but it also didn't have good reviews. So it was kind of like to me, like a black book situation where it's like people are reading it, but people aren't enjoying it. So I did see she had this one, and this is one of her more recent ones, if not her most recent one. And so I saved it because I'm familiar with her, and her writing in that was okay. It was just the progression of the plot and things like that that was complicated and just so I'm afraid to read her next book. So it's just, my reason is because I didn't have a good experience with her debut. I'm afraid to read her next book, even though she may have grown, she may have taken the criticism and did something different, but I don't know if this one got good reviews either. So
okay, so my first book that I say I'm afraid to read is a book called, it was also made into a movie. I know the movie's really popular too, but it's Angela's Ashes by Frank Mccort. Have you heard of that book? Really? Have you heard?
Or the movie?
So I'm afraid to read this book because I remember, this is like an old, I don't know when this book came out. It's not that old, but yeah, it is. I think it is that old. Let me see.
It is 2005, girl.
But it won the biography of, it came out in the 90s.
So,
it won the like.
Oh, that was the republished.
Yeah. So,
girl,
this is a book about an immigrant.
Decade.
I know this immigrant, like in the Great Depression in Brooklyn, and it's an immigrant, like basically a picture of this young boy's childhood. I think he had like a sick mother.
Girl. Yeah,
Frank's mother Angela has no mind to feed the children since Frank's father rarely works. So it's just basically the childhood of this young boy going through the Great Depression. I'm afraid to read this book. It's one of those like classic books, I think, that like a lot of people have read, and of course they made it into a movie.
That's what I was trying to do, like classic books too.
My friend had seen the movie, and I remember her telling me some stuff about it, and it just sounds so sad and so horrible. Kind of like, and think of like Precious, like in the vein of that, like just sad.
I didn't even see Precious. That's a book I'm afraid to read.
Oh yeah, Precious was sad. The movie was really good. I'll never watch it again. It's just too heavy. So, and that's why I'm afraid to read this book, because it just sounds too heavy. It sounds too like heart-wrenching, and I don't have room for that. Like I just don't have the capacity to bring any of that into my life right now. So that's a book that I'm afraid to read, because I'm just like, or in the movie, like I'll never watch that because it just sounds so sad. Like I cannot.
Move on. That's 95.
Not move on. I had another old book on there. All my books are really old, actually.
What? Okay. So mine are more so recent, with the exception.
Well, that's good.
Okay. So this one I put "You Were Always Mine" by Joe Piazza and Christine Pride. Christine Pride. So we read that. We are not like them.
So why are you afraid to read this one?
Because I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to go on this another heart-stirring like race discussion and this, that, and the third. Like, I don't mind those types of books, but they are, I will acknowledge, they are a bit challenging for me. For me, reading fiction, I like to escape, and like I feel like the race conversation sometimes it's already politicized enough, you know, in real life. It's already something we face enough as people of color in real life. So I don't know if I necessarily want to read about it, especially in a way that's like, oh, something debatable. So pretty much it's about this Black woman. She befriends this young woman in the park or something like that. She's pregnant. The woman is white and she's pregnant. She's like 19, and then next thing you know, she goes to the park to visit her, and she finds her abandoned baby, and the Black woman decides to raise the baby, and it comes with like backlash and this.
Now she took the baby and raised it.
Right.
What?
I mean, that's what I gathered from the synopsis. I don't know. Maybe it's more to it than that, but I don't, not that I'd be uncomfortable reading that particular type of synopsis, because I think that's a conversation, you know, period, with adopted or just, you know, kind of people raising other people's, you know, kind of kids and things like that. But I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of the and that one probably won't be as bad, but it's like we get enough of that in real world. Like you saw the stuff with Michael, the Blind Side lady, or the Blind Side family. Yeah, that was crazy, but that has nothing to do with this book. I'm afraid to read it because I don't know if that's where I want to go right now. And that's like I said, that's one of their latest too. And I think I did see good reviews. Like they had it even for free. That's the other reason you need a Kindle. They have like Amazon first reads. So it's like a list of books, which I need to pick mine for October, but you get to pick one book for free that's like going to be published either that month or the next month. Like something like that. It's basically like a newly published book. So yeah, I think they had that on there, and I was like, oh, they got another book. And so later they had it on Scribd, and I saved it, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to read this.
Right. No, I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay. So next on my list is It by Stephen King. So first of all, I don't even like read. I don't watch horror movies, and I don't read horror. If I don't watch horror movies, I'm definitely not reading, because I feel like that's printed in your brain. So I'm not a horror movie type of girl. I just don't. I didn't even watch The Walking Dead because that was just too much for me. It was too much. So it was one of those things that growing up,
it's not that bad.
It was scary to me just seeing that clown, the original guy.
But I heard the book is really
scary.
Good.
I know, they said it's really good. You know, it's so crazy. I went to see like the new movie, with one of my friends, and they forced me, and I watched it like this the whole time, y'all. It was not enjoyable. I went home that night. I was living by myself at the time, and I was just like, I can't sleep. Like, it was just too much. So reading the book and having it like play in my own brain, absolutely.
But I hear it's more like going into like the kids and this and that. But okay, I would agree with you, not because of the horror aspect specifically. I can get that, but the length is intimidating.
The length is scary too.
The length.
So yeah, right. And like, to me, it's probably not as scary as more like psychological, but I don't want that either. Like, I don't want to think about that. Even that was a little much for me. Like, that was a little much. Watching the show, it's a little much. So it's just only so much I can take when it comes to like horror and different things. Like, I'm really not a horror person. Like, I don't like scary stuff. I just don't.
That's the funny thing. I can watch horror, but reading it, I don't know. Like I'm not a horror film person. I've seen horror movies. I'm not like this coming out, let me go see it. But like I like American Horror Story.
Yeah, see that? Nope, too creepy. I watched like the one with
like I don't mind like kind of a little bit gore to a show.
I don't like it. And I feel like the older I get, the more like squeamish I become too about those type of things. Like I watch Law and Order and stuff and be crying because of the kids. Like, why would they do that?
But that's different.
Like, girl, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just more sensitive to like things in general, not what the older I get. So yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, I can't take gore in real life, but like on the show,
on the show,
it's like, ugh. Okay, so the last one I have is old, I guess. but I'm just afraid to read them. And it's a collection of books. But my list, I feel like it's a little different because I feel like I have intentions on reading.
Oh yeah, I'm never reading these books,
girl. Okay, so my Toni Morrison books.
Oh, I have a Toni Morrison. That's my last one too. Just all of them, girl.
I'm just afraid to read them because the Bluest Eye just put me off so bad.
Because you're not deep.
I'm not deep, and I read. What did I read?
Sula?
No, I read Love.
Wait, you didn't read those. I read those.
Sula.
Did you read Sula? The Sula was the one where she grew up with a girl and then
she came back to town. I read Love.
With the
lady, she went to go work for the family.
Yeah, and then the different generations of women that was connected to that one man.
Yeah, and the girl, she went and he married the girl's friend, and the women were beefing. Yeah, because it was like, I'm his granddaughter, but I'm his woman. But they grew. Yeah, I read that.
You read that? You didn't like it? It was good.
I didn't say I disliked it.
You didn't like it, girl. It's okay.
Her books are just overly literary and a little more complicated. And a little bit more, jarring and stirring for my taste. And so I don't mind, I want to read them. I'm just afraid to read them because they just, I don't know, they bring up kind of similar to the other ones. They bring up themes that are important. But it's just like, girl.
Sometimes you gotta read about real stuff.
I do read about real stuff.
You don't.
But yes, I'm gonna read them, but I'm afraid.
You're not. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. What's your last one?
My last one is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I don't think I'll read that just because I
said
you and
But I did see someone I saw it has great ratings, but I did see some girl was like, "Oh my god, y'all like this book," and I was like, "Thank you."
It's just, that's real life for some people. So yeah, I just feel like, again, emotionally, I don't think I'll ever be ready for that type of stuff. And I feel like, even I've watched movies with certain things in it, and when it gets to that point, I will turn it off. I'm not putting myself through that. So, to read a book and have to read it and picture in your own head, I feel like it's even worse.
And she was descriptive. Yeah, it wasn't a long description, but it was definitely pungent and bam, these are the words that let you know what's going on, and you
yeah. So I don't think I will be ready for that. And I know maybe I'll read it one day, but I just don't see myself knowing. I don't know. I don't think I can do it to myself. So that's one I'm afraid to read, and I don't know. Just because it's Toni Morrison, I feel like maybe I will read it one day, but I just don't know if I'll ever be ready.
If she would have put, it's because it's a piecemeal story and it's vignettes of things. If she would you knew the situation that the main girl was in, but then she didn't wait to describe it until close to the end, so you already kind of invested, and then when you get to that point, you and then she's telling it from the other person's perspective, and it's So I get you. you. So that one, see, that's why she's.
But now she had her whole just a bibliography on there.
So so Asia had a different interpretation. I had a different interpretation. But let us know some books that you're afraid to read,
whatever reason it is.
Mine was more so I do want to actually tackle these books. It's just something is preventing me. And hers is just, hey, I'm not going to touch that. So just let us know what side of the fence you fall on with your books. And like this video, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll be back next time. Bye.